Yeah, bro, it's very, I can't lie, it's like one of those setups here that's like, because obviously, like, I taught myself with all this shit, I'm like, it makes sense to me, but I'm always curious to see with people who know their shit, like, if they can see any fucking glaring errors in this shit, you know what I mean? Because, like, fuck me.
I did go to uni, but it was very much like, because I do the heavy stuff.
Yeah, don't really apply.
They were like, yeah, I had to like to teach myself a lot as well.
Fucking hell, cuz. But yeah, man, obviously, man just slapped up and stand there, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get that. Oh, I got a height right.
That's pretty impressive.
But still, yeah, man. So new? Go on. Let's go from the top then. Yeah. So obviously, you run Monolith.
Yeah.
The man of Monolith.
Monolith man. Monolith. I love that one. That's a good one.
Monolith's a good one. But yeah, so like, how long? So you had a flood, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the comeback time? I feel like you beat me in comeback time.
Well, I beat you in comeback time, but I think you had it much worse than me.
But you fucking but like we just said, I didn't build this spot, so you fucking, you know what I mean? Like you like.
Mate, I thought when I looked at it on paper, I was like, right, okay, get these walls up this week, these walls up that week, ceiling up. So I thought it would take 4 to 6 weeks. I could tell by your face that you know it took me like a lot longer. Like it took me like 3 months. But the thing that held me back more than myself was like little things I just didn't think about, like not being able to get the right wood for a week,
or like honestly,
or waiting for plaster to dry. Things like that were the things that, like, I mean, it took 2 weeks for just the plaster to dry in my control room.
Like, proper ventilation and shit.
So it was kind of just like I was at the mercy of a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's frustrating as fuck, innit?
And then also sometimes it was like I'd build a wall.
Yeah.
But I'd have no one to help me lift it up. So I was kind of like, well, I've built the wall, but I can't lift it up, put it in place on my own, so I had to wait. Never that long, but I'd have to wait like 2 days till someone can come in and help.
That's not something you want to get. Like,
no.
Can we just move it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like it, but
it's definitely. I don't know, man. Thinking about it, I'm just like, why did I do that?
No, but the thing is, like, because I remember because my situation with the last spot was the one before that. I was in Hackney Wick, innit? Yeah. And like, the fucking building basically got sold from. So it was like a church building, and there was like a bunch of studios on the side, and like the guy who managed the studios was with fucking like war in the church. And the guy who's managed the studio is a fucking wanker, innit? Like, he's a dick. But, like, no one fucks with him, innit? But he manages a bunch. He's got them all over, and he's got some in Wembley. You might know the guy, actually. But, like, not like, you just know he's about.
Yeah. But, I think I know a studio in Wembley that I think he runs.
Yeah. So I don't know if you ever done business with him for fucking...
No, like you said, I'm aware.
Yeah, exactly. But, so he has such a bad relationship with them that they just didn't tell him that they were selling. So it was like, none of us in the studios knew that like our studios were like 3 weeks away from being fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it burnt down.
No, this is the one before. Okay. This is the one before. So that was in Hackney Wick. So when it come to look for that one, I was like, oh fuck, like where am I gonna go? And I was like, oh, let me come back to like, you know, closer to home, even closer to home. So I was like, let me get back to like Walthamstow, the edge of Leighton, and then like, well, technically that's Leighton, but it's like, it's proper nice, overlooks the marshes. I was like, this will be perfect. I'll just build it like myself, like with my dad, like, you know, he's like nice with it when it comes to all the woodwork and shit. So yeah, but bro, waiting for plywood, waiting for fucking rock wool, the right type of rock wool, all of this shit, and I didn't really know what I was doing either. So I was like fucking blagging it massively, and me and him just kind of like me and my dad just kind of figuring out like between like, okay, like, you know how it's like, obviously I was doing it on some mad budget as well. You're like, what is actually worth spending money on? What can I afford to do right now?
One of the things I ran into was like, you know, quite handy, but I'm not a chippy. Like, so the things that I was running into that was running up my bill was fixing mistakes.
Oh,
so like the biggest
that's what I mean, man.
So the biggest mistake I made is I fucked up the Sterling board on the floor.
Yeah.
So then I had to buy really expensive flooring to stop it dipping in when I walk around. So it's like things like that was what ran me up, financially. But
it's alright.
I won't do it next time.
Well, that's it. Well, that's exactly it. But I mean, to be honest, though, but after that one, I was like, oh fucking, I built it. And, you know, it was alright. I was happy with it. It was cool. Like if I did, I always like when me and my dad talk about it, it's like if we were to do that again, like we did it very differently.
Yeah.
But
for real.
At the time, you know, it was pretty cool. And then obviously, like fucking burnt down. It's like, oh, great. And then I was kind of like half entertaining the idea of doing that again, like renting a spot and then converting it into a studio. But the reason I didn't was purely financial in the respect of like, I knew how long that one took me, and it was like, I don't want to rent a place, be paying what, like, you know, $1,000 plus, easily a month for the first 3-4 months and not be able to get any return. So when I found this spot, I was like, cool, basically plug and play, innit? Let's fucking go, do you know what I mean? And honestly, like, fucking, he's right there, so I don't want him hearing. He's saying nice things about him. But no, like, honestly, like, running a business in someone else's business should be a nightmare, but it's been so fucking easy here, bro. Like, this guy he's the guy, like, honestly, very cool, like, everyone that comes here, like, seems to enjoy it, like, the room's cool. Obviously, the only con is obvious when there's, like, we got rehearsal, like, underneath us, you know, but compared to like 3-4 months of like when I was on the ropes anyway, like mentally I was just fucking drained, bro. You know what I mean? It's like,
I fully understand that. I mean, I got to the point with mine where like when I started, I was like, it's got to be perfect. This one's got to be perfect. And then I thought, after a while, do you know what? I got what I got. And however it turns out is how it's going to be, because I fucked up myself mentally with the build. Was I did a sound test before it was finished. So, and when I say it wasn't finished, dude, I mean like I was doing similar things, to be honest. Like when I say it wasn't finished, I mean there was no flooring down.
Oh my god! You're playing yourself.
Yeah, I did rawly. Like literally, there was no flooring down. There was no acoustic sealant on the outside. There was holes in the ceiling, like where basically I fucked up doing the lights. So I had like spotlights like this, and I just fucked it. Basically, I like drilled the holes in the plasterboard, and then I was trying to fish out the cables for the lights, and I couldn't get them, so I had to drill more holes in.
This is the thing though, but this is it though. Like I know mentally you're like there, like look, you know, I've got X amount of money in the account. I can pay this month's rent and do this for another, but every day that this ain't done, I'm not getting a return in it. Yeah. And like you're just like, fuck it, let's get this done in it. Do you know what I mean? And you end up, because when you get in there, obviously that's when the mistakes happen. In it.
Do you know what the biggest hitter for me, the thing that stressed me out the most was all of my clients were chill about it. Yeah. So I said, look, this has happened. Yeah. And they were like, oh, all right, cool. Well, we'll just wait. Yeah. But literally everyone I had booked in, or they just came to my house and did it. Like bands who had already done drums and stuff like that.
Very calm.
So we just did DIs, and I was like, oh, we'll reamp it later. And they went, have you heard of Kemper? So then they were like, oh, we don't need to reamp it. But the thing that killed me was the when people were messaging me wanting to book in, and I couldn't. Bruh. And then the thing that was playing on my brain was like, it's not just like that money that I've lost, it's that like if they go somewhere else
and they love it
and they're happy, they're not gonna come to me. It's not just the like,
it's not that immediate like fucking couple hundred. It's like the fucking potential. Because I'm the same. Like it's very much like here. It's like if people come here to do a certain type of job and it goes well, they end up coming back, and it's just how it goes, isn't it? Because it's like, and, you know, you make them comfortable, you get a good workflow, good relationship. There's no real need for them to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? And I was in exactly the same boat. I was like, fuck, man. Like every month, every couple of weeks, I'm not back. Like it's a fucking nightmare. How long? So for you was that? So the flood itself, like, because you were downstairs, right? Yeah. So what happened? Like, was it like? So
it's actually a bit of a weird story. To talk you through like the whole day. Yeah. Like I got up, had my fucking shreddies, whatever. And then I went. I was recording Negative Frame. And like they're a young band and they don't have much money, so I'd said to them like, I gave them a really good deal. Yeah. And which worked in my favour in the end.
Yeah.
So I go in to the studio, and I was actually planning to view the unit I'm in.
Right.
Because originally, that unit had a big soundproof booth built.
Sick, yeah.
Right? Which
so
you'd
what
think
you gonna like?
was wicked. You think would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
So I got to go see it, you know. So I went in and saw it. Because my mum actually had it. She's got her own business, and she had it for a photography studio.
Sick.
She was like, it's like a whole studio in there.
Yeah,
so I went to view it because she was moving out.
Yeah.
And then I just chickened out, man. I was looking around going, this would be amazing. But I was like, you know what, like, at the extra, whatever, 400 or 500 quid a month, was like, I've got a good setup here. I don't want to like fuck with it too much.
Don't have to build a whole fucking studio, you know?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was already there because it was 2 rooms.
Fuck.
One wasn't soundproofed at all,
Yeah.
but the other one was just like a soundproof booth. So I was looking at it again. They didn't have any cabling, so I was like, the only work I got to do is wire in some shit, you know. And it was. Because the purpose of it was for photography, so one end had an infinity screen.
Yeah.
So in my brain, I was going, oh shit, like I can even rent it out for this, that, and the other. More, you know, like.
Trust me.
And I was like, sick. And then, but I chickened out anyway. I chickened out on the initial price. So by the time I left, I'd already decided that like I was too scared to go for it. And then I went downstairs, turned all my computer on and that. Went about my just because it was the flood happened in the live room, so I couldn't hear it. So I was in the control room. I just put all the computer on, hard drive in, iLock, all that stuff. All the mics were all set out already for recording because I had them in. I think I had them in the day before or a few days before, and they all turn up. Actually, I can't remember if they turned up first. No, I went in first. So I'd set everything up in the control, and then I went in, and I thought I saw this. What happened was the water came up through the sink. So there's a bakery in my unit, and it's actually, I was like full on like I'm gonna fucking burn their bakery to the ground, like, and then I realised it's not actually their fault. It's actually the landlord's fault because they should be able to use the drain. So they actually have their unit on improper use. The building's not set up for them. But basically what they've been doing is pouring flour down their sink, and then it's just turned to cement in the pipe. And they opened up the drain, and it was like I hit it myself with a crowbar. It's just like cement at the bottom of the pipe, and basically it just come up through the sink, all flour water, so it's all rancid, smelt. And I remember my first thought was, Charlie, you stupid cunt, because I thought I'd done it. I thought I'd left the taps on.
Bro,
right, so I thought, what are you fucking stupid?
Trust me,
and a few weeks before, I'd had a leak in the ceiling, which had gone unnoticed for about 2 weeks. So all the water had gone under my floorboards, and all the floorboards were warped. So this place was like getting fucked anyway. And then this, and by the time I saw it, like it was across the whole, well, about half the live room, just like water about that, splish splash show, you know. And then the only thing that was really wet though was my drum kit.
So fuck, did it warp it or was it like?
No, it was fine. Because
dried it out quick enough.
Like, I mean, I think the flood couldn't have been happening that long. You know. But luckily I had negative frame with me. And I was doing.
Never deal with it.
And I said to him, I said, look, I need to just get all my shit out. And then I phoned the landlord, Sam, or the guy who works for the landlord, and he came in, and he was kind of like, oh, I don't know what to say, Charlie. I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I said, well, look, bruv, there's only one. I need to put my gear somewhere. And he went, well, the only unit we got's the one you just viewed. And I was like, all right, well, guess we're just going to put everything in that unit then. So I had 4 strong lads with me. I don't even think I lifted anything.
Come on,
to be honest.
Ollie Quay in the fucking Ritz
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah, he was probably the MVP of all of it.
But hair swishes up the stairs. I love it. What geezer, come on.
But we must have got all the gear in the other room in about an hour or 2. And then the landlord was just like, well, he was talking about like, oh well, we'll get people in, we'll sort your flooring out and we'll get people in. But I was looking at so my first studio was just one stud wall. It was just like it was just a room with one partition. I think it had like a 10-inch air gap.
Yeah.
Like the cheapest patio doors I could buy, you know. And it did the job, you know, like the drum, if the drummer was playing, you could hear him, but it wasn't...
It wouldn't affect mono,
yeah.
Like, you could, that's the thing, yeah.
And yeah, it did the job. But I noticed when the flood was happening, I could see all the fucking... just the rancid flour everywhere.
Yeah.
And by like the afternoon, you know, it was already like all mouldy and shit.
Well, that's the thing, and I was gonna say shit like that would just go mouldy so quick.
So they were talking about doing up the unit for me, and I was like, see, looking back, I could have gone, because I would have actually been back in business faster. But that unit had so many issues.
Well, that's the thing, innit? That's the thing.
And how I got it in the first place was my mum had it originally.
Yeah.
And it flooded. So I'm always at risk. I'm at the lowest point in the building, so I'm always at risk of a flood. And there was loads of it's a rough area as well. So
that's what I was gonna ask. So like, where exactly in Tottenham are you? Because I viewed a spot. You know about all that 1087 spots there, innit?
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, is that the 1,400 a month for like a one room? Yeah, I didn't go into to rent one, but I went in.
I went in to snoop. Yeah, I went in to look at one that was 4.5 a month, right? Yeah. It looked like a fucking. I can't lie. It was incredible, innit? It sounded great. It looked like a fucking Architects magazine. Incredible, innit? And they were like, it's cool because you can charge 700 a day here, innit? And I was like,
no, I can't.
I said, who? You know what I mean? No, I was just like, you gotta understand, like, I'm like, you know, obviously I'm from Walthamstow, and it's like everyone's gonna bail me. Oh, Ben, wait, I'm like, back in business. Where are you? Tottenham. How much you know? Oh yeah, but I'm 700 a day.
Yeah.
Bro, that phone's getting hung up so quick. Yeah. So you're not in like, are you in that part? Like,
no, that's Seven Sisters, isn't it?
No, that's like that's kind of like just off Broad Lane. So you're kind of between the two. Yeah. Seven Sisters.
No, I'm up Bruce Grove. Somewhere it's really horrible. So not too far from the Spurs station.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I had all sorts of problems with that downstairs unit because I had like homeless people sleeping in the corridor and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was tough because on one hand you're like, dude, like, leave before I smash your face in.
Well, that's it.
And on the other hand,
I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad.
But that's the thing, man. When it comes to all of that stuff, like I'm fucking from here, innit? So I have like a fucked up relationship with all of that shit. Because it's like you gotta understand, before I can like the empathy kicks in, and like, you know, I might have a thing of like, I've worked mad hard to get something, build something. I need to protect that before I can be like, yo, on a human level, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing is,
I'm your arsehole, but like, what the fuck? Like,
no, because I would be like, on that vibe too, I'd be like, you just need somewhere to stay. But the thing that pissed me off about it is that like, sometimes I wouldn't, by the time I got there, they'd be gone.
Yeah.
But they'd be leaving like empty cans, beer, like drugs.
Well, that's what I'm gonna
say.
There was
a needle there once.
This is bro. Honestly, like, this is it.
They'd piss down there. And
this
shit
is what I mean.
like
this is exactly what I mean. It's like, everyone. I mean, where I used to live in later, and it's like, man, you see like a lot of shit on the staircase and stuff, and you're just like. You can have your opinions on it, but the reality is, I know like 5-6 families that live on this block that use that staircase, innit? It's like, what a kid, like, do you know what I mean, picks up that needle. It's not funny, innit? Like, it's just grim, like,
and also it's like,
you're trying to run a fucking business, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the reality, and like,
and you can be as punk or as fucking ghetto as you like, but
you just don't want it, bro.
But it's like, I've turned up with a client.
You get sick of tidying up shit, man.
I mean, I had a band come in, and they were like paying me, full rate. They were going in. They had the studio booked for a month.
Fucking
and the first day I had them in, we was just listening to their pre-pros.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like one of their girlfriends or something. Yeah, because she was just a bit like rocky or something.
Yeah.
And then she was like standing. I had like two fire doors to come in.
Yeah.
And she was standing in between them, and she's like in the mirror, and she was like kind of like dancing, like a bit like a stripper, I guess, to the music.
Yeah.
And I went, is that like is that your bird or something? To the guitar? I went, no, I don't know who that is. And I went in, and it's that thing, the closer I got, just the more scabs I saw in it, and I was like, for fuck's sake. And then I was like, what, like, can I help you, sort of thing? And then she was just like, oh, what are you, like, can I just fix my hair in the mirror? And I was like, yeah, cool. And I carried on, and she was there for like 10, 15 minutes. Man. And then I went back, just dancing, like, obviously off a nut. And then I went back and said, sorry, like, you've got to leave. Like, this is like a business. It's not a nightclub or whatever. And she just started like crying, and everyone hates me.
Fucking hell, man. You should have got time for it. Like,
and then,
that's what I mean.
But I think because I'm at the bottom, it's like that's where they go, you know. But now the new gaff's, I mean, it's the same building, but it's just away from all that shit.
Yeah, you got nice bit of insulation with like staircases enough usually, to be honest.
Yeah, and I got my own like bathroom, which goes a long way. Yeah.
Fucking that's alright, you know.
Move in, innit?
Yeah, trust me.
They were talking about putting a shower in as well. They're like, oh, we could put a shower in here. I was like, yeah, do it, and then I'll just never leave. Like.
Well, that's the thing, innit? Yeah, if there was a shower here, like, you know how it is, you work enough hours as it is, bro. Fucking off, there's a shower.
Just game over.
But washing machine under the mixing disc, say no more. Nah. It's like, but that is like, I mean, you know, like, how much did any equipment actually get destroyed, or was there anything you had to throw away? Or?
Even when I was on my way here, I was thinking, do you know what, man, I got some nerve coming here to talk about my studio flooding, because honestly, only thing that got damaged was the property.
Fuck,
so my only loss really was what I'd invested in building the place, which, to be fair, I'd made it back anyway. So
but still though, that's fucking shit. It's the time, bro.
And obviously, like,
did you build it with yourself the first time around? Like,
the first time around, that's it. I had someone come in and help.
Did you design it yourself?
No, I had no business like at that time.
Well, same. I didn't know. Fucking. I was like, I'm sure this is roughly right. You know what I mean?
And then this time, I had a friend who built something similar during lockdown in his garden. He originally was going to do it with me, but it's one of them ones where, like, I'm not going to like diss him and say like he fucked me around, but like he basically, he's got 2 kids, runs his own
he's on a
business.
different timescale.
And he was just like, he was like cancelling on me on the day and stuff like that, and I understood fully, and I ain't got any problem with it, but like, I just had to say to him, go, look, man, like, I have to get this done. And to no fault of his, it did hold me up like a month. Again, like I was saying, just life, man. But he was the one that kind of I mean, I've always been able to use a drill and a saw and all that stuff, but he was the one that showed me like how to design the stud walls and how to screw them together. And so really, I did the floor with him and one wall.
Yeah, but once you got one, you kind of know how to like.
And then I had to bring in a chippy for the ceiling, because that was
fuck up the ceiling, bro.
Well, I mean, and it's a good thing I did as well, because
I mean, that's what you don't want right now, innit?
Well, the way I built it was so on the inside, there's 2 layers of DV plasterboard with green glue in the middle. But it's a good thing I brought him in, because he basically said if I built it the way I planned to, it'd just fall down. Like the ceiling, he said the weight of the plasterboard would have bent the ceiling down, and over the years it would just.
But I'm not gonna lie, when I was viewing spots, quite a few of them had the dip, like the spot like be in the middle like this, and it just be like.
And he was the guy Taz who came in. He was fucking brilliant, man. He showed me so much, and just watching someone. Like the speed he worked at compared to me as well, you know, and
kind of pay for yourself.
And the intricacy of him, and
it's the thing, man. You can't like. I mean, that's part of the reason how we make our money in it, is that like you can't. You're paying for like the amount of hours we put in to get to the point to get it done quickly, innit? So it's like it's the same shit.
Well, part of me was like, brother, do you know, if I just fucking paid him from day one, if I'd known him from day one, but if I had just done that from day one, I was like. I probably would have actually made my money back in jobs that would have come in, but
you know, you don't know this shit. You don't plan this shit, innit? But like, fucking hell, But I mean, no, but it's still a nightmare, man. Like I fucking obviously I've been there, and like the idea. Because when I was reading sports, I was looking at Tottenham, I was looking at all types of places. I looked at that 1087 thing. I looked at just this furniture designer had like think she had about 800 square feet that she was like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking like chop it in half, and then you can do whatever you want in the other side. And I looked at that and I was thinking about that, but then it would have been a whole build, and I was like, the idea of doing that right now, this was like maybe late June, early July, and I was like, fuck that.
I mean, the only thing that makes me want to build again is to do it better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But when I actually think, you know, like, there was days where, like...
What's outside?
There was days when, like, me and Sarge, who's my intern there, had to load up. Also, like, shout out to fucking my intern Sarge and Luke, because they turned up as many days as they could on their days off, and they really, like... fucking worked hard, man. They were not work shy, and they did it all for lunch, man. I literally bought them lunch. I mean, I gave Sarge a guitar at the end of it, just say thank you. He wanted to buy one of my guitars, and I was like, bro, hold it, like, have it. Like, and then I did give Luke like a fridge and some drum bits, but yeah, they fucking saved my ass, man. But there was like, well, I was saying, there was days when like me and Sarge had to load up. I think it was 57 sheets of DB plasterboard.
Fuck, man.
And anyone that knows like anything about plasterboard, it's fucking heavy, but DB plasterboard is twice as heavy, and it's just brutal. And I'm you know, there was days like that where I was like, just kill me, like what, like why do I even want this? You know,
like you do, like literally it's like fucking hell, like you do. I mean, you know, we have like the fucking best job in the world.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It's fucking, it's like you're just fucking basically fucking around with it. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. But like, obviously when you're like proper up against it, and you just never know if the money is gonna come back.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's no, because that's the thing. Like when you look back at it, my mom always talks to me about this. Like when she's saying like whenever she was like between jobs or whatever, she's like, when you look back at it, when you get a job again, you're like, oh, I was only like out for like 3 months max or whatever. Like there's like, you know, it's nicely bookended, isn't it? At the fucking time when you got a half finished, half built studio, you're like, it's never ending, innit? Do you know what I mean? You're just like, I'm just out, and that feeling's fucked. Like,
it's funny. The thing that fucked me up the most was like, and got in my head the most was, it wasn't like, oh, I've got to build a fucking like ceiling or inner walls or whatever. It was like, I've got like 100 little jobs, and I can't even like wrap my head around where to begin or what ones to do. And it was literally things like putting sealant on all the screw holes, or like sealing the floor, or you put in expanding foam and this, like there's loads of those little, or sweep, even in the cleaning, bro. I'm still cleaning now. Like the amount of dust and shit that was there, it was just like,
bro, I find that shit takes time to like all fucking calm down for some reason. Well, even well, you know what I mean?
Even like I proper deep cleaned my control room, and then I left it for a few days, and then I came back, I went like that on the desk, and it was like an inch of just dust and sort, and it's going to be in the air. And I had a cough for like 2 months, like brutal, bro, like wheezy
the rock
cough.
wall, no matter what you do, innit?
Boy, there was times where, like at first I was like proper like Breaking Bad in it, like all the, and then I was like, oh fuck this,
I should just get done.
And then I did a few days of shorts and a t-shirt, and honest to God,
red as fuck,
they were like, my legs were on fire. I was like scratching them, like scratching blood on my legs, and then you're just scratching it into your leg as well.
It's worse,
so
innit?
It's fucking brutal, man.
I remember, when I can't remember what time it was. I just remember it being hot as fuck in the studio when I was building that shit, and then it was like, yeah, man, it was mad. Even just making these shit like rock cool fucking things, panels there. When we were at my mum's house, innit? Because that was where my terrace was. Because my family moved to Somerset, innit? So like they just, that's where, like, so after my.
Is that the temporary one?
Yeah. So basically, it was like they like my family lived in Walthamstow, like when my parents moved here probably like 30 years ago, innit? And then they just like, the area changed so much, they were like, fuck this. Sold their house, and they were like, let's just move, like, you know, far. So then they just got the shots, let's just fuck off, let's move far, innit? So, but to be honest, like, you know, obviously I miss having my family here so much because I love it here, but that timing was fucking, you know what I mean? So it was like, you know, they had like space there, like that was my dad's workshop, innit? And then my control room was like just the end room of the house, and I just had like a fucking snake running between it. You know what I mean? So it was alright. And they just put like one of those weird, like, you know, when they're like working on the roads and they have those like traffic things to protect the cable. I just had one of them.
Well, it's funny, my situation is I used to live with my mum.
Yeah.
And then she moved to Kent.
Right, yeah. So where are you from originally? Like?
Originally I was born in Canada.
Yeah, right.
I don't go that far back.
Oh, yeah.
but I'd say I grew up between Archway and Hackney. So parents are divorced, so it was like weekends at dad's sort of thing. Yes, but obviously because it's just me in the house now.
Yeah.
I've been like eyeing up the garden and the conservatory and being like, I wonder if especially now I've done this build.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
But the cabling was one of the things I was thinking about. I was like,
yeah. I mean, because I was like, this is a temporary thing. I need to get shit done now. I basically, because I was with so obviously right after the fire, yeah. I was with Christy and Liam, obviously, you know those ones, innit? Fucking, they were like, look, let's go to an Airbnb and just make shit, innit? So I could basically start recording straight away. And I think like the day before the fire or some shit, I'd bought like a compressor or something. Like I remember having something and I was like, oh, well, at least I have some shit to like fuck around with, innit? Because literally all of my shit, aside from my laptop, which is like at my girlfriend's house, and one guitar, which is also there. Everything got destroyed in it. So it was like, yeah.
So you literally
everything.
Because I remember there's this girl I was talking to at the time. She sent me like a message going, oh my god, have you seen what happened to Fuzzbrain? It'd be your nightmare. And I was like, what happened?
Oh yeah.
And I like looked at the thing and I was like, oh my god.
Honestly though, like, I can't lie, that was one of the things that kind of like kept me relatively sane about it, was like the fucking pornographic scale of it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it was like half the shit, you'd be like, oh, that one thing, because it was like everything and it was like right there and it was in a pile. I was like, it's actually kind of funny. The
funny thing, you say that because today I'm like a bit of a hoarder. Like if you go in my house, it's like just clothes everywhere. I've got like 30 something guitars. It's just a joke. And I said to my dad, I was like my dad was round today and he was like walking into my living room, he's like knocking all my hats off like the coat hangers. And I said to him, I said, I'll leave it, I'll pick it up. And I just went, you know what, like sometimes I just wish all my stuff would disappear and I could just start again.
Bro, honestly, this is the thing. So this is exactly it. So it was like, I kind of, like fucking hell. But this is it though. Like, so obviously the shit went down. Yeah, I was away with Christy and Liam. Yeah, and then I didn't set up any GoFundMes or nothing like that in it. Like I'm never ever gonna ask anyone for peas in it. But like people just did it and it was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I ignored it. I was like, I don't want to even know about it. But then Christy and Liam were like, Mike, have you seen how fucking much this? I was like, let me check.
I was pretty impressed by it all. Yeah,
it was fucking.
I mean, that goes to show,
bro, it was crazy.
Goes to show how much the studio meant to people, you know.
It's a bit mad.
And all the favours you've done for people. And,
it was surreal though, man. Like I never you never expect anything like that, you know.
So when you found out about the fire, you was away?
No. So that was right after, bro. The way I found out, it was it's actually kind of funny. Like, so I was living in Leighton at the time, innit? Like literally like 10 minutes away from the studio, and like you know how it is, bro. You're always buying fucking equipment in it, and Facebook Marketplace is the one in it. So I just taken a shower. I had like a session at like 3 o'clock or something in it. So I was fucking being super lazy that day, just taking a shower, getting ready to leave. I jump on Facebook in it just to do a quick look, and I was like, it fucking opens up and it's like Walthamstow Residence News in it, and it's like, oh yo, there's been a big fire at the laundry by the marshes. And I was like, oh fuck, like that's right next to my studio. I hope none of my shit smoke damage. Like literally in my head, I was fucking bearing in mind, I'm like bollock naked at this time because I literally just got out of the shower and I'm just like, oh well, let me just get ready in it. So I'm getting dressed, and like my fucking landlord bells me. He's like, yo, like Ben, like why is there loads of fire people inside your studio? And I was like, wait, what? And he goes, oh yeah, to be fair, like it looks pretty fucked. And I was like, oh shit. So I just gun it there and I just get on my back. I'm like straight there, and I fucking, because it was like set in like the back of an alleyway type thing, innit? And I just I'll get there. I look left. The laundry is completely fine, innit? It wasn't that. It was like it was the church next to my unit, which spread it into my unit. So I look down and I can see.
Pretty black metal though, really.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like reverse church burning. They burn me in it, so it's like if anything, it's like revenge. But no, it was like I could see like it was probably like 50 meters away. I could see like the door open. I could just see like black.
No,
it was fucked in it. But my thing was shit. So you know how you were like fucked by being on the ground floor? I was fucked by being on the first floor. So I was on the first floor, and then like the church was like also on the first floor. Yeah, I know, but like, well, this is the thing though. This is one of the things is that like, so my fire didn't start in my unit, and it was like again neighboring unit. We can do what we can do in it. Like we can fucking be super like yo like fire extinguisher, because I had fire extinguishers, I had all that shit, right? But like, bro, you can't control what your neighbors do, innit? Yeah. You actually have no like control over what goes on. It's kind of like, so it's one of them ones where they fucking left a bunch of fucking Cala gas canisters inside. They're getting their roof redone, mattresses and shit everywhere. Like spread went over into my thing.
So they were completely fucked as well.
Oh yeah. Fuck them though. They did it. You know what I mean? Like, so
not one of them ones where like we got to them first.
It was like they were completely fucked. But then the studio underneath mine, because it was like similar to this, where there was like another like rehearsal studio underneath, was like I think they lost their PA, but because they had like a live room, and in the back they had storage. Yeah. Their storage was like behind some like kind of big doors. So I think some of their shit was like smoke damage, but like all their amps and shit were fine. And I was like, fuck, man, you guys are lucky.
Because I remember people saying to me like, he's got like Lemmy's amp.
Yeah, no, I had the fucking like a Motorhead cab. That was sick. Yeah.
That's like one of my favourite bands.
I know, man. Yeah, that was a cool sounding cab as well, but. Yeah, that went to shit, but
even like a lot of companies like backed you as well.
Bro, yeah. Like someone was buying a mic off me earlier. I was saying like, like the Dario and Evans. So the Dario own Evans in it, but they like it's like it's basically a lot through like Chubby and the gang. And all of them lot. Like we just did a couple. That's what we were on tour with, but because they got like quite a few like like industry links and shit like that. They kind of put me in contact with like Fender, so I had like a 40% off thing, which I actually didn't end up using, and also like the Dario, and it was like, oh, just go through the website, anything you want, let us know. So I was like, but honestly, so I did that, and they sent me quite a lot of shit. To be fair, like I haven't had to buy drum heads since I've been back, and they gave me a bunch of like strings and shit like that, and cables and stuff. Roland was this guy reached out to me like just like in the DMs, was like, yo, I kind of like grew up on the music that you guys make, cause like, I guess he's just like an old like hardcore guy or something, and like I want to support it, like again take a look at the website, anything you need. And I was like, bruv, like well, this is my one chance in it, I'm just gonna take the piss, bro. So I just fucking sent probably like 2 sides of A4 fucking full of shit in it, and to be fair, they sent me like half of it. I got like a jazz chorus free, like a bunch of pedals, like man, fucking SPDs and shit. So it was like, it was really cool. But like after it, I was kind of like, I don't wanna, cause a lot of the equipment in there was like, cause I kind of got into this by like buying and selling stuff. Yeah. So like constantly like, you buy the shittest distortion pedal you can find, use it for a bit, sell it for £10 more than you pay for it, and then you buy a slightly not a shit one, and then you know what I mean, keep doing that. So like I got to the point where I had I had the Motorhead cab. I had like a couple bits that were like, okay, this is like industry standard or whatever, like this is cool shit, like you can make stuff sound good on that. But there was a lot of stuff that was like nowhere near it. Like my desk was like a Tascam 388, which is cool, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not really, it wasn't the same thing. So after that happened, and I kind of looked at like the amount of money that people would raise for me, I was like, okay, do I kind of like do the same thing where I have shitloads of guitar amps and like, shitloads of like stuff like that, and keep kind of buying and selling? Or do I go like, okay, I'm gonna back myself to actually become good at engineering, which I still haven't done, but like no, I'm just gonna like really invest in like a couple like select pieces and kind of build a studio around that. And then that's when the Calric, like the desk came up, and like I just went to this guy's house like right after it happened with Christy and Liam, and we just like, I think I bought a Calric off him, a pair of like MD 441s, 1176. Like I bought a bunch of shit off him.
I was eyeing that up as soon as I walked in. I've been trying to find the actual like Universal Audio one as well.
They're a bit long. I did see someone selling one for under like $2,000 the other day though. Yeah. Which is a good price, but like.
I got a Distressor. I see you got one there as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know, man. I'm so used to being in the box. I've just started venturing outside of the box. Like I don't know if you saw, I bought a rack of preamps.
Yeah. What are you rolling with the fives or you?
I got the 500 series.
Yeah.
So I bought but I got that I think it's Cram Bone or Born Audio. It's like a British company.
Yeah.
But they do it like an ADAT machine. Sick. So it all runs straight into my interface, and then but then they've also got a mixer in there, so I can mix all the preamps into one channel and record it in one go. So where I'm doing guitars, not move way too far from what you're saying, but when I'm doing guitars, like I was doing 2 cabs, 6 mics.
Fucking hell.
So and then I'm quad tracking guitars.
Fucking
so the maths on that, what's that, 12, 24, and then, but now it's like one channel. And then I just put the DI on. I do it as a stereo channel, put the DI on the other channel.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything so much easier.
What is it? Well, this is.
Got to use it once before.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's cool, right? You know, it was a trial run. Like,
I'm using it on Monday. I'm excited.
So, bro, honestly, like I remember my last spot. I learned how to use. I bought one patch bay, and I figured out how to use a patch bay about a week before it burned down. And then when it come back, I was so glad that I did that, because I was like, I know how to use a patch bay now. I can fucking start messing around with outboard, and I had the money to actually get some nice outboard. And to be honest, it's one of those things like I always told like a lot of like, you know, younger lot that used to play some stuff, because they was like, oh, this shit's quite intimidating for them, innit? Like seeing all that, because it's expensive stuff, innit? It's just like, oh fuck, like, you know, do I need that to sound good? I'm like, it's not how you do it, it's about like the end product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've heard crazy shit that people have done on like equipment that I thought was dog shit.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't know how, and that's testament to them, innit? Because I'm like, I don't know how you did that on that, but like, it's sick that you did that, and there's no point on doing that. That's like, so, you know, but so I've kind of to carry that into this is that like I kind of started using outboard and started using stuff, and it's become part of the workflow that I wouldn't change it. But with that said, like, you know, if it's not something that comes natural in it, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to fucking everyone in it, because it is a bit storage space, it's expensive.
I definitely like. I mean, all those pre's that ran me up like $7,000.
That's what I mean, man.
And it was literally, I just thought, fuck it. And all it was like, I think I can get a pretty good guitar tone, but I was never satisfied.
Right.
I was always like, there's something missing that these like records that I love have got that my guitar, there's just sort of like depth to them.
Right.
And then I was watching, I think it was Will Putney recording Knock Loose or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I do this. And I was literally, it was like that Leonardo DiCaprio where it's like, that's what he's doing, that's what I need.
Yeah.
So I just was like, fuck it. I bought 2 Chandler TG2s, 2 Neve 1073s, and some APIs. And it was that thing where it's like, obviously I could probably get a similar result through in the box. Yeah. Saturators, all this shit. But as soon as I turned my amp on, I was like, that's the best sounding. That's the best my guitar's ever sounded.
And for us, in the situation we're in, where we're often, I mean, I don't know specifically for you, but I know for me, I'm often working with people who don't have that much of a budget.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to basically cram as much shit as they can into their time, innit? It's like, we save, like the fact that you can do that, you're like, I plug this in, I put that to there, and I know I'm gonna get ballpark like that. Saves so much money, like time and money, like on everyone's behalf, you know what I mean? Because like you can work with more people, you know, but they get their products.
That shit in, shit out, innit? So it's like,
exactly.
If it sounds good before you've touched it, then there's less work to do in the box.
That's what I mean.
And I've recorded stuff where like, before I've mixed it, it literally sounds like it's in a box. It sounds so shit.
Yeah.
But now stuff I record, it's like before I've even mixed it, it sounds wicked. And I think that's the level you need to get to where it like everyone's time is saved.
Well, that's it. That's exactly it, man. Like, I mean, that's the big kind of takeaway for me is that like, because this is such like a surreal. This doesn't really happen to anyone, where you can go from having like one nice mic and like no nice preamps to suddenly having like, you know, 6 options of nice mic, like, you know, a couple of options of really nice preamp. So it's like, I haven't got better as an engineer in it at all, really. Like, it's literally that like, what I can plug into like, you know, the other shit that I can plug it into is so much nicer, and the difference it fucking makes, it's crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's like shit in, shit out. So if you run in, I mean, the biggest thing I found was just the AD conversion, man.
Yeah.
As soon as I got a good, I was using like a Focusrite 8 Pre-X.
Yeah, right, yeah.
When I first opened.
Yeah.
And I was recording stuff, but it still just sounded demo-y.
Right.
And then as soon as I upgraded, like you're saying, you know, buy it. I think I bought. You seem like similar. Like I'd buy something for 500, sell it for 650.
Has to be done, innit?
Yeah. Bro. So I was doing that, and then I sold a load of shit, and I bought the Antelope Goliath.
Bro, that shit's nice, innit?
And as soon as I got that, it's like everything just started sounding like it was done in a proper studio.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, innit, man? Yeah, I mean, because I was like, my kind of next big buy when I got a bit of money will probably be a kind of like Apollo 16 or some shit. But the Antelope shit, my boy Jonah uses it, and it is fucking
I like the I really like Universal Audio, so I use all their plugins and that, but if you for the bang for your buck, man, look at getting a Goliath, because I think you could probably get a Goliath for about $2.5 grand. Yeah. 16 pre's, Class A pre's.
Fuck, man, yeah, maybe I just.
And they got emulators. Yeah. The thing that I ran into with UA, not that I'm some Antelope salesman.
No.
But when I was looking at, I was going to get the Apollos. Yeah. But you can only, I think the most you get is like 8 pre's in one.
Oh, what, even the 16 ain't even got that?
I think 16, that's only conversion, I think.
That's the thing, but to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, most of the time...
You only use 16?
I only use 16. I also, like, I don't, I barely use the fucking pre's on I don't use the pre's on that interface at all, fam.
What one have you got at the minute?
Fucking Roland. UA 1610. You know why? Because I had had like a Motu, well, Roland that's part of it. No, I had like a Motu thing for a second.
Oh yeah.
Bro, you ever use one of those fucking things?
No.
Bro, what workflow, what the fuck? Like, nightmare. Like, the conversion sounds good, but like, there's like a fucking... You can only change it on screen, innit? You have to pull up some shit to change it. You can't just fucking dial anything in, There's like a weird patch bay thing you have to navigate. I mean, I'm sure there's a way you can set it, but you have to set it every session.
Oh, that's long.
And it would be bugging out and shit all the time. I was like, fuck this.
The Antelope has all that stuff.
If you want to, innit?
The Goliath has got... so it's got the pre-knobs on the front. Have you seen it before?
No, I know the one you mean.
Yeah. And it's got 2 headphone outs. It's got a talkback mic built into the front.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got 2 reamp outs.
Fuck, you know, that's...
It's got it. I mean, when I was comparing them, like, it just toppled the
for your application as well, like reamp fucking stuff. Like,
I mean,
like,
the thing
was $300 because I fucking bought that bougie reamp box, but it's like, just don't need it, innit?
Well, I mean, the thing, I'm sure you have it as well, it's like, people are like, we want to do an album. We're only free Sundays. So I'm like, okay, well, then I have to navigate to a point where well, you have to do all the drums at once. But if you're only free Sundays, then we can just record DIs and I'll reamp it all after. So the reamp ports on that thing have been like...
Just fucking pay for the whole thing.
And the best thing about it is there's 2.
So that's
and I do good, 2. I normally record 2 heads per guitar take, so it's like it's almost like that thing was built for me in a way.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, that sounds like exactly your workflow.
I think the only thing where I was like, really, you couldn't put that on it was it only has 1 out for monitoring. So you can only have 1 pair of monitors plugged in. But I spent 50 quid on one of those Mackie things.
Say, you can probably get like a But that's good though, man. Because I mean, it's one of them ones like. When you first get into music, or even recording music, you never think you're gonna be fucking thinking about this shit. You know what I mean? Man, stressing about comparing interfaces for like 2 days.
I remember when I was at uni that they were trying. I didn't even get into preamps till quite late on. Yeah. I remember when I was at uni, they were going, it's all about the preamps, it's all about the preamps. They're basically saying like, I remember I learnt on a Neve desk, like 90s Neve desk. Yeah. And I remember my tutors were basically going. Because I was going, what's the point in me even learning this thing? Because I'm never gonna afford one. It's like 100,000, and fucking the rest. But like, it's like $100 grand desk, and they were just kept hammering into me like, the pre's are the thing. Yeah. The preamps are what you really want. Yeah. And I only really over the last year started digging into preamps and stuff.
But I mean, they're probably similar to the 500 series preamps. Yeah. That we know about, you know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean. Yeah, I mean, same. Like it was kind of before like because of the access, like because the equipment I had and the equipment I had access to, basically, to be honest, my whole recording process was like, how can I avoid this making this sound like shit, rather than like, how can I make this sound good?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now it's a little more of like, okay, I know I can get this sound. Wait, what is the best to pick from the palette? Do you know what I mean? So that's very much like a thing of, and that kind of comes from using different types of preamps and stuff. Whereas before it was like, oh, like I can record this sound, sweet. Like, oh, this sounds like shit. How
but
do
I think
I not?
It's just like, it's like anything in life, and you just got to keep doing it over and over again.
That's it, yeah.
And then I mean, like, I'm throwing myself under the bus here, but I only recently realised that basically almost every recording I've done at Monolith, the overheads have been out of phase. Like almost every recording I've done.
Even you saying this, like, probably my shit's probably one time fucked up, because I ain't even, like, I'm like, okay, it sounds like that right now, fuck it, I'm just gonna roll with it, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm just doing it literally off my ear, yeah.
But it's like, I just noticed it once. I was just doing a mix, and I don't even know, I think, I'm gonna say it was out of phase, it probably like, a bit out of phase, but I flipped the phase on this recording and I was like, oh, now I can hear the kick drum properly, because I couldn't hear the kick at all, and I was like, why can't I get the kick to fucking pop through? I flipped the phase and the overheads, and that was it. And to be fair, I think I didn't notice for time, because I was high passing the overheads for ages, up to about 600. It's like some Andy Sneap thing. I just heard him say it once and I was like, okay, that sounds easy. But yeah, then I started trying to like actually use the overheads properly, and then I was like, now clocks, it's like embarrassing. But my point being is if I didn't keep recording drums like a few times a month, I wouldn't
have discovered that. No, 100%. There's shit that I almost fucking like stumble across. I'm like, oh yeah, that does actually sound way better.
It's all about when you clock it during the session. And you're like,
it's a poker face,
and you just like, you have to act like, or the worst when they point it out, when the client goes, shouldn't that be like, and you're like, I just haven't done it yet, man. Just
allow it.
Backseat driver.
For me, one of like the kind of most naive ones, that happened to me recently was just miking up guitar cabs, and like, you know, I can't remember why, but like one time I was like, why do I kind of have like a default, like mentally, like, cause it's, I mean, I know why, it's cause it's like a budget thing and that people just need to get shit done, right? So it's like, I know how this guitar is gonna sound if I put this mic, you know, like an inch off the fucking cab in this position, and it's cool, right? But then I was like, yo, why not I put it about like 12 inches out? Why not I do this, do that? And it sounds like, so it's just the low end, fucking everything. You know what I mean? Everything just sounds way better.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's like literally just going like that and it sounds better. Like, you know what I mean? There's no real technical fucking shit with that. You're just like, I probably should have clocked that bit. But, you know.
I think it's like, it's the same, because where I do the really high gain tone, first I was always putting the mic right up like that on the grill, and then I just moved it 2 fingers away, and like you said, I was like, it
just opens up, like,
but sometimes it's too far, so I have to, depending on the cab.
Of course.
But again, it's like learning your own gear.
Well, that's it. That's exactly it as well. I mean, that's something, and that was something I was like very grateful for me to be able to do in Somerset, because like obviously I was just there with Micromoon in it, and I was there with like doing stuff with Tukan, and sometimes Christy and Liam will come down, and like it was kind of just all us lot, and it was kind of low pressure, and I could slowly get my head around this desk, and I still like, I haven't even fucking sorted out those compressors, I haven't sorted out the talk back on the desk or anything. I'm gonna like, that's probably what I'm gonna do this weekend, just completely unplug everything, just like, you know,
I do. I hate a rewire, but one of my intern Luke is like obsessed with cable management. So I'm literally just like, I'll bring him around here if you want.
I was gonna say, man, if well, you know what I mean? How about everything? You know what I mean? Fuck me, like, cause I need to like sort out, and like that will hopefully change it. But like the fundamentals of learning the equipment, cause I was in a position where I had so much new equipment at one time. It was kind of like month by month. Like only recently have I kind of hit like, okay, this is like my go-to vocal chain with the 1176 and shit. And just like, this sounds cool, and then you can kind of tweak it from there. And that's kind of like only the last maybe like 8 weeks or so, and then like from there, shit's been kind of way easier.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I mean, I definitely did when I moved in, I had like some money to set it up.
Yeah.
And I bought like an SM7 U87. I bought some C414s. I bought like a handful of like the stuff that I knew. I was like, right, I need this.
Yeah.
I bought like an Audix drum recording kit or whatever.
Yeah.
But then obviously but I did the opposite. So I slowly brought stuff in.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did with the old spot naturally, innit? But
yeah, I can imagine like I was saying, if all my stuff disappeared,
bro,
and then I had like 20 grand to spend on equipment, I'd be like,
what's literally what happens?
I'd probably buy. I'd probably buy something completely different for the change.
Yeah.
But it would. I can imagine me just being like.
You say that, yeah, but like, you know, obviously, like you're saying, you buy and sell as well. You buy like what you find, innit?
Yeah.
And just coincidentally, the this cow wreck was up. It was like, I think it's in Bentley or somewhere. You know, I didn't. It wasn't like my studio burnt down. I had like a fantasy list of shit, and cow wreck was on it. Yeah, but this is definitely the best thing in the studio. You know what I mean? It was kind of like it came up. I did a bunch of research. Like, I was like, okay, cool. That's probably about right for what I need, and good condition. I went to the guy recently, been like fucking recapped and shit, and I was like, sweet. And then he was selling a bunch of other stuff, and it all kind of felt like nothing that he really had. Aside from like maybe the MD 441s was like anything that I was like 100% I'm getting this, because that's what I used to just have. Like the MD 441 was like my nice mic in my old spot that I just fucking use on as much as I could, and I obviously have a pair now, so, and it's kind of like I still love them, but so yeah, and then it just coincidentally had a bunch of shit, and you're like, oh, this is really cool shit that has applications for my stuff, so you know you end up getting it. But yeah, like it was, that was kind of like a whole, obviously that was a really weird time where, you know, I was trying to buy stuff, but then I was also like, kind of like, I don't know how long I'm going to be without premises, so, you know, I need to budget for that, and like, that was a fucking nightmare, like, you know. Yeah,
I know there was a couple things that popped up when I was doing the build, and I was like, oh, I could, and I'm like, just don't. Like,
yeah, I honestly, I'm not, like, this is the first time ever since I started, like, doing this shit that I'm not actively buying. Because honestly, I used to. Because before, honestly, I didn't work on that much shit. Like, because I didn't go to uni. I'm like completely self-taught in this shit. So it's like.
So was it a gradual thing for you? Was massively. It like doing just demos at home?
Bro,
and then,
like massively gradual. Like I started. Like I got into, so basically, I was. It has a lot to. This is what I'm always banging on about, like being from Wolfenstein and stuff, because this wouldn't really happen anywhere else, but because Wolfenstein was that seen as that such a shithole, like I just had a studio in my mum's house, like no one gave a fuck. Like there's so much noise and shit going on anyway. So like since I was like probably 15 in it, so that's going back 11 years now. So I would like play drums there, and like so my parents bought me like a drum kit. And then me and my boy Dej would like tie-dye t-shirts and shit, and we sold them on the street, and then we bought like a guitar amp, and then we bought, you know what I mean? So over time you just buy shit, and then I sold that, buy a nicer one. So basically, by the time I was like 17, 18, I had like, it was all kind of shit stuff in it, but I had like drums, a bass amp, like 2 guitar amps, and I had like a shitty digital recorder. Then I got my first job, and then the first thing I bought was like that Tascam 388. So then I had like, do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh fuck, like I got all the stuff in it. Like I want to record. I've always wanted to like. It's mostly down to being so like insecure about my workflow and stuff that I didn't want to come across that, because you know some engineers in this shit. I can't, bro. Like I honestly having an interaction with someone who would just be like, the fuck are you doing? Would like fucking annihilate my spirit, bro. Like I just want to be able to do it. So I think I was avoiding that. I spent a lot of time
just walking around going, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, honestly. So I was like, I was kind of trying to avoid that. So I was like, I'm just gonna do everything myself. And then Wolfenstein obviously changed, and it got like mad gentrified, so naturally noise complaints started flying in it. So that's when I was like, whoa, I want to make a record. I have all the stuff. I don't want to pay full studio rate. I got all the stuff in it. So that's when I started like renting places. And then it was like, cool, I'm renting this place. How do I subsidize the rent? Let me get like my friends band to also like come in some of the time. And I kind of got in like doing that. And obviously I was like recording them. But yeah, man, I never had like the whole thing of I'm gonna like learn how to do this shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't regret it, but like I know has like left massive fucking craters in my knowledge. Like I'm just kind of like navigating.
Yeah, I think for me it was like I was playing in like bands for time, and I did like a load of like more underground bands, and I did a band that was more like kind of going somewhere.
Sick.
But then I was also like, it kind of happened 5 years too late in a way. I was like, I'm hitting 30 and like I kind of don't really want to be in the back of a van.
Right,
I don't mind doing it like for the odd weekend at a time, but like
9 months, a year type thing.
My band was going on tour for like months at a time, and I was just like, I just don't want to do this forever. And also I was playing with bigger bands, and like, not going to name any names or anything, but like we'd play with a band that I'd think would have their shit together, and their phones were cut off and shit like that, or like they wouldn't be able to afford socks. Literally, that was the thing.
Some of the conversations I've had very recently just about how finances are managing this shit.
It's fucked.
Disgust me, bro. Disgust me.
But yeah, basically, I just kind of hit a realization where I was like, you know, like I'm never gonna like realistically be able to like support a family or like even myself. Really doing a band, and like when you're in your 20s you feel a bit more invincible, but I mean I was so fucking like paranoid about turning 30. I just went to LA on my 30th. I was like, I don't even want to be around my friends.
For real,
I did
solo thing,
I was proper I had friends out there, but like they were turning 40. So they couldn't say shit, but I was like, I was kind of like, I don't want to be. I don't know why I was so fucking stressed about it, but I was like, I don't want to be here getting the like happy birthday granddad birthday cards and all that shit. I think because I was at a crossroads in my life as well. I was like, I just don't want to be at home when I turn 30. So I went to LA and just like let my birthday just go under the radar a bit. And then when I got back, I was like, I just got to do something in my life. So I literally just thought, well, I was the guy always that made all the demos for my band, and I was always like trying to get them better and figure out how to make them sound more. My like little fantasy in my head was that like I'd take my demo to the studio and they wouldn't laugh at it, or they'd go like, why are you here? This sounds great. It's never happened. But like that was always like I was always trying to impress like
people like the real guys in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Like my mates that produced, I was always trying to impress them with my demos, and they're always just but yeah, I literally just thought I think I'd already joined like Nailed a Mix or something, and was already like tinkering about a bit better. And I remember my demos were getting like I was starting to realise actually the drums should be the loudest, and when it goes red it means it's distorting, you know, things like and I just thought fuck it, I just signed up, and then literally quit my band like about halfway through the first year. I was like, I just want to do this now. And it's kind of like as well, my story with bands really is, I'm sure like people I've been in bands with would say it's the other way around, but like I've always felt like I was getting let down by other people, like not in every band, but like I was always,
you were all in, and like
I was always all in, and like one member would have like 1 foot out, or like or like well, wouldn't be on the same page with some members, and all of that's fine and fair, but like I just felt like with this, the only person I can fucking let down is myself. Bruv. So as long as I work hard and I do my research and I
it's on
put
you,
in the hours, exactly.
It's on you,
and yeah, I just, and do you know what, you probably agree, well you're in a few bands still, but like I feel like I'm in like 10 bands, because every band that comes in I'm like a member of that band for
like for sure, like I mean, there's one thing that like 100% like I can like tell is that like, you know, like we're never ever gonna be like the guys who don't give a shit about like the records, you know what I mean? Like if I know, because I've been there, where it's like you like I know how much, like if you come to me to record, I know how much you care about that. So it's like I'm gonna honor that like as much as I can, and like, you know, to do that, like you say that you're not like like you're not exactly in the band, but you're basically in the fucking band, but like, you know, you're really trying your hardest.
Also I was saying to my dad today, I was saying like I think like one of the best things that's come out of the studio is like I've got like 30 new close friends. They're like I didn't know before I did the studio, and I only know them because of the studio. And it's like if I hadn't open Monolith, like I wouldn't know half these, and I've reconnected with old friends as well. Like it's just,
and you know, it's like when they come to studio, it's like Yeah, like it's just like being straight back on the same page again as well. Because everyone's there for like, it's such like a great track. I've been like, especially like a recording engineer as well. Like obviously you mix and stuff as well, but like that process of recording is kind of like on a quiet one. It's like a bit like unless you really fuck it up, it's kind of like hard to fuck up because what you're doing is you're taking something that's an idea and you're making it exist. So instantly it's better than it was before because it didn't exist and now it exists. So it's like, oh fuck, I'm hearing my idea for the first. And doing that, having that experience with people is like such a fucking like cool thing, innit?
Yeah, especially when they're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when
that's
they're
what
like,
I mean. Yeah, they're like, holy shit,
like, so good.
This is like actually exists, innit?
Or
and
like,
then
when you're
what's
coming
mixing is when you get like the fucking
yeah, that's
the
when
back
you
and
get
forth,
like,
innit?
I can't hear my ghost notes.
Yeah,
but
that's a long part.
But yeah, it's good, especially when you're coming out with ideas for people and they go, maybe it should go like this, and they're like, oh, you see their light bulb go off and they go, oh shit, that's exactly like.
Yeah, man, that's just fucking tight, bro. But yeah, because like, so you kind of, did you go uni like when you were like 18 then? Or
no, I went when I was 30.
Okay, so you were like, you waited until like.
Was I 30 or was I 29? I think I might have been 29
So
because I think I'd already enrolled because I was panicking about turning 30.
Right. So okay, so yeah, you were like that's when you. So before that, it wasn't really. So like, what I'm saying is like you were like, I'm in bands. We need to make demos. I'm kind of the one in the band who not saying gives a shit the most, but like I enjoy doing the demo thing. So it's like I'm gonna invest in doing that. Yeah,
I mean the thing that really kicked it off was one of my bands got signed.
Yeah.
And we got given like quite a big budget.
Yeah.
And I was like, I always wanted to go to this place, Studio Fredman.
Okay.
Which is in Gothenburg in Sweden.
Sick.
And I was like, always wanted to go there. And I basically said it as a piss take to the guy that owned the label.
Yeah.
And he went, yeah, all right, then I'll email him now. And then he emailed me back, went, he's got these dates free, can you do it? And literally everyone in the band was just like in the group chat like, whoa, capital letters.
Oh, yeah.
So he went to the studio for a month and it was like, I mean, it makes Monolith look like Tramp's cardboard box in the street.
It's just fucking mad, like.
You know, it's like architecturally built properly,
that's what I mean,
100% soundproofing. Like, I mean, the guy who recorded it, he recorded like At the Gates, Dimmu Borgir, Architects, Bring Me the Horizon, like huge bands, you know. And I remember that was the first time. I mean, I'm not to knock anyone else that I'd recorded with in the past, but that was like the first time I'd gone and recorded, and I was like just blown away by everything and how it sounded. I remember when he played the mix to me in the control room because we stayed there for like at the studio. They had like a residence.
See, that's sick,
like a little flat that you stayed in. And I remember he played the first mix to me in the control room.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I couldn't have pictured it sounding like it. Like you know, you're saying about when you take someone's idea and they're like, holy shit, I was almost speechless. And I remember listening to it on my bunk, like with headphones on, and it was just like, I couldn't believe that was my band. It felt like I was listening to, felt like I was listening to like Metallica or something. Yeah, just like the depth of all the reverb and then also watching the mic everything up and I kind of stopped doing it now, but for the first few years of my career, I was the Fredman technique. Like the guy's got his own microphone technique for recording guitars. I don't know if you know it.
No, man.
It's like it's two SM57s, one off axis, one on axis.
That's his. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 45-degree angle part. I got some clips if you want them. Like, just got spare ones. I'll just send them your way.
I might take you off on that, you know.
But the whole point in the not to bore people listening.
No. People love this shit, man.
The whole theory behind it is it's the phase cancellation. Yeah. It kills the 4K.
Right.
So it gets rid of like the nasty harsh fizz.
Yeah. You can so you can ham it off your
and then you get this really fat distorted sound, but it hasn't got that like
the harshness. That's fuck. I never knew that's how you did that.
Yeah, watching all shit like that, I was like, holy shit. And then I remember asking why they were both like that, and he told me, and that was like one of those things where I was like, that's just, that's incredible.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like something like that. It's like basically so simple. What I like about that as well is that like there's nothing really stopping someone doing that in their mum's room, like, you know what I mean?
I recorded. I couldn't be asked to. Sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't be asked to drag my amp to my uni, so I just did it in my living room.
Yeah.
And like my coursework was still to this day gets me jobs because the guitar, so it's programmed drums, so I didn't have to fuck up that. But like just the guitar tone I got doing it in my. I think a part of it was luck. Yeah. But like the guitar tone I got from the mic clips and all that.
This is what I mean, man.
It's still like.
So that's like, I mean, what 257s, and a molded clip is like at most, £250.
Yeah, and I used I just used the Focusrite Scarlett.
See what I mean?
And it sounds like wicked. You know.
That's the thing, and like you can see something as simple as that. Yeah, it's like really can like. Yeah, take a record from being like, okay, it's a bit booky sounding, but I get the idea to like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, you actually onto some shit. Like, you see that shit's crazy. That shit's crazy. So it was like kind of like doing that. So seeing that studio and like being like somewhere like that, you were like, yo, like, I just want to kind of fuck around with that.
I think when I was there, it was kind of like. I could see myself doing this in my old age.
Yeah.
I think I was about 26, 27 when we were there. So I think it was kind of that thing, I was like, I could retire into this sort of thing. So I still thought I was going to be a rock star at the time, I think. But I was like, I could do this later on in life. And then I think when I started to realise, like, you know, even if my band gets to whatever size, I'm still going to have a day job or have to do this, that and the other. So I thought, I want to work with music. So it was kind of my plan B. Like, my plan A was being Metallica, but my plan B was like to have a studio, and it's a fucking good plan B, man.
Honestly, I mean, my thing is, because for me it's like a little, my route's a little bit weird, innit? Because like I want to have, I think I've got like quite a lot of like, I'm trying to get too deep, but I think I've got quite a lot of guilt about having stuff and having access to shit in the area where obviously I grew up around a lot of poverty and stuff, and like I don't like the fact that because something as simple as like both my parents working, you know, and the fact that they own their house is that, you know, just like, the knock-on effect of that meant, you know, I was like basically immune from a lot of stresses that a lot of like, you know, my people grew up with, right? So I don't like that. So I've kind of got this whole thing of like, you know, trying to like make music myself and like really like do it myself and have it like myself, but also trying to kind of show people that, you know, this is also for them, because like, you know how it is, bro, in like, I don't know if it's as bad as like in heavy music, because it might not be, well actually it probably is, to be fair, but like it's not really, there's not that many people from like real parts of London in this shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you kind of get the feeling that it's not really for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of barriers and like a lot of kind of things that stop people from getting into it. Yeah. And that kind of pisses me off. So I'm like, my kind of end goal in this shit is to myself be very accomplished as a musician, get to do a bunch of cool shit, have the studio operating and multiple studios ideally, you know what I mean? Everyone's, you know, like you're saying, the residency shit is like fucking crazy. Have that, but then make sure like it's accessible, you know what I mean? And have that as like a whole thing, and like it's constantly trying to balance that whole thing of like trying to get this as high end as possible, but also make sure that like you can kind of record someone who's like 15, 16, 17, like trying to get into music, or you have the time to chat to them and like the time to do that shit.
But it's funny enough,
those two things kind of, you know.
One of the things I was saying about me doing cheap for
that's what I was gonna say, you 100% get it
for Negative Frame was like they're like 19. I think one of them's even younger, and you know when you just talk to them that like they're not wealthy people or anything. And it's actually you that made me think, I should fucking help these guys out, because they were messaging me going, please.
Man, no,
and you were doing a thing about under 21s rehearsing for cheap, and I was like, do you know what, man, if he can do it, like I can do it. So
you know what it is, it's like, you know what, the way I view it is that like I kind of like this sounds really arrogant, yeah, but I fucking back myself to make rent. Do you know what I mean? Whatever happens, yeah, like if it's 2 days away and I'm nowhere near rent, I'll make rent. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of think that I'd rather have like that stress that month and know that like I might have got someone who might not do this into this, and like know that I've done that, and I'm like proud of that, rather than just being like, look, bro, like I can't fucking, bro, this is the price. You can't afford
I mean, I don't think.
I wouldn't do that like every week, innit? Because like, you know, I gotta grow this shit because I have to sustainability is most important.
I was gonna say as well. I think there's like an element of like, you gotta be able to just read the person.
That's it.
And go like, is this person trying to blag cheap?
That's it. But you can smell it though.
Yeah, you can.
You really can. Like, and I think people don't understand that. Like, we can fucking tell. Like, we just know. Like, what the thing is, because you bought and sold stuff, bro. I know what a finesse is. Like, I'm from here. Like, bro.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
You think someone never tried to mug me off before? Like, I know what it looks like in it. So I do get it. But like, yeah, sometimes you can just kind of tell, and like also you can tell. Obviously, like. That's like the fucking ideal situation. They're like younger people, like they're super into it. They want to work hard. They want to get it done. They just want to make their record. I know more time when I'm talking to someone if they're gonna fucking cancel 12 hours. Yeah, you can smell it, bro.
But also just like the one I get a lot. There's 2 emails I get which just roll my eyes at. That's I don't want to use the word foreign, but like an international band.
Yeah.
Just giving me the like, we want to come to your studio, and all they're doing is they just want to know how much it costs and all this.
Yeah.
And there's the can I have a job email?
Yeah,
you get loads of them.
I get quite a few of them. Yeah.
And they always piss me off. But yeah, you got to be able to read. Like I also got to just balance the books, man. Like sometimes I think like, all right, I know this band are good, and if you believe in the band as well, it's like I believe in that band. Like Negative Frame. Like,
oh, today, man, this Common Strife putting it out.
Yeah, and
congratulations, bro. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's like I believe. I'm not taking any credit for that, but I believed in them. Yeah. And I heard the demos they sent me, and I checked out like them on social media, and I just thought this. I had a feeling about this band. I was like,
they take it serious.
This band can go somewhere if they've got the right tools. Not saying I'm the one giving them guidance, but if they had a bit of guidance and like,
look, put it this way, the way because you play them bands, you know how it is. It's like, look, you know, like from when you were like 19 or whatever, if you're in bands, you're like, I am dedicated to this. I want to grow this as much as I can. Yeah. I have certain obstacles here, innit? One of those obstacles is like I've got the demos, but I haven't got something that's recorded well enough. Yeah. I don't have that. All you're doing in that situation is you're like, alright, cool, I can remove that obstacle for like less than I usually would charge to like sort you out, like as a favour to you, because I know you put yourself in a position where it's worth me investing in that, because you know those guys are gonna work their ass off.
Well, the deal I gave them, I don't think they'll mind me saying, but like they basically sent me a message saying they had X amount of money, and they asked me if I could mix it for that amount of money, and they were going to record it themselves. Yeah. And you were like, it's going to be a nightmare to mix that. Well, I was like, bro, you think I'm going to shift through your fucking shit? You have nothing coming. But like, I remember they sent me the demos, and it was just like the riffs, man. And I was just like, I can't not. It's almost like I can't let this band not have the best it can be. Yeah. You know, like I was like, I have to give them that. I have to do right by them. Yeah. Because I believe that they can do something.
Yeah, 100%.